Hey guys, this is Eric Johnson. I want to talk about my childhood with Asperger's, and the 10 signs that your child might have Asperger's. So stay till the very end because these are not your typical signs. I've really researched this and pulled up the most unique signs. So check it out. Let's get into it. The first thing is that when you're a child, there's different ways that we play with children that normal children do not play like Asperger's children. And this is the first sign that you might have Asperger's, is that children with Asperger's, they need predictability and control while they are playing, whereas a normal child craves spontaneity and collaboration. And that totally just pinpoints my childhood. I needed certain outcomes when I played. I had something in mind and I needed to fulfill that image in my mind. So if other children came by, let's say I was making a racetrack and playing with little cars, if a child would come up and start creating their own racetrack using mine, I would get very upset because I had an image in my mind what I wanted. And I'm still like that today. You know, when I'm landscaping the yard or something, I have a certain image in my mind. And if someone comes up and says, "Can I help?" I'm like, "No, I got it." Because I don't want them to detract from my image. And my dad is the same way. You know, he's been restoring cars for the last 15 years, and there's no way that he's going to have somebody come over and help him build the car. My dad has, you know, his perfectionist ways, and he's going to do it exactly the way he wants. He's not going to want any outside influences. So that's a very crucial key right there. Again, predictability and control versus spontaneity and collaboration. The second thing is children and adults with Asperger's, they prefer playing with older people. They prefer playing with adults. They prefer playing with animals. They don't necessarily like playing with kids their own age. In fact, my very first girlfriend, when I was 20, she was 20 years older than me. And my best friends were 10 to 20 years older than me. In high school, it was horrible because I only played with kids my age. They teased me, they were mean, they were loud, they talked too much. And, you know, when I first got my first friend who was older than me, it was very refreshing because they respected me, they listened to me when I spoke, and etc. The third thing is lack of flexibility and dictatorial in playing with others. So a person with Asperger's could start dictating the other kids and what they want, and that goes back to that image you have in your mind of what you want to accomplish with, you know, your certain play or whatever, that you're going to start to dictate to others and be like, you know, I really want it this way. You know, that car has to come over here and we have to do this. And so kids with Asperger's, especially males, will get into that dictatorial state. I still do that today. If you get me in a kitchen with a couple other people, I will start telling them what to do. And it's something I've done ever since I was a little boy. In fact, when my parents and I were moving up to Washington State from California, my dad has a funny story of me sitting behind him and I couldn't see the highway, so I literally moved his head with my hand. I was only 5 years old and I moved his head with my hand because I couldn't see the highway. And that's just how I was. So number 4, brutally honest and can't really white lie. See, normal kids will learn how to white lie because they don't want to hurt feelings, but kids with Asperger's, they rather tell the truth because they have to be honest. It's just in their nature. They have to tell the truth like it is. So I've had people say that I don't have a filter, or, I've heard a lot of people, because I'm just brutally honest. I'm just like, I don't like the look of your mustache. You should just get rid of it, or, whatever. I tell it like it is. And I'd rather be honest than tell a white lie, because I really do not want to lie. It's a merit thing, it's a value system, and a lot of people with Asperger's follow that merit system. Number 5, they learn a lot of their social cues. Asperger children learn a lot of social cues from TV. And that's funny because I grew up in the 80s, and my main thing was watching TV after school, watching TV before school. But a lot of the shows that I watched after school were, I could see a lot of different social interactions play out. Shows like Facts of Life, Different Strokes, shows like that, MASH even. I could see how people interacted, and I learned a lot of social cues from TV. I watched 4 to 6 hours of TV every day. I grew up on TV just like a lot of kids from the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So, a lot of Asperger children are watching Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is a perfect example of watching someone who is awkward, socially awkward. So, and Mr. Bean is a lot of fun to watch. Number 6, performance anxiety. People with Asperger's get really tired in social interactions, and they get performance anxiety. So this happens to me when I visit my family. When my family comes and visits us, and I haven't seen my family for a year or two, I get total performance anxiety. It's overwhelming. Last time I saw them, I just broke down crying. I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I'm really nervous around you guys. And they were just like, don't worry, Eric. My dad was like, you need to go see a counselor. And that was when I was still rocking, stimming, 14 hours a day. Now that I don't stim or rock, I have a lot more confidence and self-esteem. So got to look at your habits, and if they're destructive, then it's going to be hard for you to look people in the eyes, because you're going to feel guilt and shame. And I had 20 years of that, drinking alcohol, drinking and drugging, and porn. I couldn't look people in the eyes because I was doing shady things on the outside, secretly. So clean up your act, and that will really help your self-esteem. Number 7, takes things literally. So as an Asperger teenager, my friends teased me a lot, and they tricked me a lot. They told me that they would tell me things that would get my hopes up. They would tell me things that got me really excited, and they were just fooling me. They were just pulling my leg, and I would get my hopes up. I relied heavily on everything they said. I believed everything they said. I thought pro wrestling was real. No one could tell me otherwise. And someone told me that they bought a drum on eBay or something, and it was my favorite type of drum, and they said that they would give it to me for $50. I was so excited, but they were just lying to me, because they knew that I loved, a certain type of drum, and they were just pulling my leg. So I believe a lot of stuff, and got my feelings hurt a lot in high school, because people were always playing tricks on me. Number 8, can't read subtle cues like sarcasm. So a lot of people with Asperger's, they just can't catch little innuendos, little slips of the tongue, or sarcasm, or white lies, or whatever. People with Asperger's, they take everything face value, and they take it literally. So if someone teases me, or if they, give me a half-truth, I get really upset if I find out later that they were bending the truth. I really cannot handle liars. I can't handle people that are, fake on social media, and then I find out later it's not who they said they were. Really, really gets me really fired up when people are lying to me on social media, Or when when I hire someone online to do an article and they say they're from America, but it turns out they're from Africa or India, it really gets me fired up. So that's probably a trigger from my childhood, being deceived. Number 10, reads cues from mouth rather than eyes. So a lot of people that have Asperger's don't really look at the eyes for cues from others, but they look at the mouth or they just look away. So they don't pick up on the same social cues that normal people do. I had a girlfriend once that said I had a third base stare, meaning when I looked at her, I was literally looking through her and looking at the out in the distance. And she teased me, not knowing I had Asperger's, but she said I had a third base stare. So eye contact for me is really hard, especially for long periods of time. I can look at someone in the eyes for a couple, half a minute, and then I gotta look away. When I look away, I can concentrate and I can breathe. But when I look people in the eyes, I literally stop breathing and I can't concentrate because I get tripped out on their face. I get tripped out that they're gonna see through me because we have this fear of intimacy. So eye contact is really intense. I mean, I have to look away just like you look away from the sun because I can't think. I can't think of what they're saying. I have to look away to concentrate and to actually hear what they're saying. So over the years, I have created the third base stare so I can kind of look at their eyes, but I'm not really looking at their eyes. So a lot of people with Asperger's will create ways to handle, social cues or anything by, cleverly, using their intellect instead of social intuition. So if you want to learn more about this, you can read The Complete Asperger's Guide by Tony Atwood. If you want to learn some breathing exercises that can help reduce your anxiety, click the link under this video. Also, check out my blog. I hope this helps, guys. Hang in there. It will get better the more you understand it. And life is a trip. I'm glad to be alive still. Almost got taken out by drugs and alcohol. Couldn't face reality and my Asperger's, but finding about Asperger's late in life really saved my life. It really put all the pieces together, and I'm very thankful. So hopefully this gives you some insight. If you have Asperger's or your child does, leave a comment below and we'll talk to you soon.